Bum.
Bum,
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 ba-dum,
bum,
bum, bum.
bum.
Ring.
Lasers. Can we get some
Lasers?
lasers? Lasers for winners.
We have to have
for winners.
lasers, right?
We have the
Yeah.
lasers. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go. We got
laser.
lasers. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the Blue Review presented by.
The
Yoshinobu Yamanoto.
One day we should actually look up and learn the lyrics to the song. Like maybe in time for his game 5. Oh no, he won't have a game 5 start. It'll be Snell. Hopefully he doesn't start again.
Yep.
If he doesn't start again in the World Series, then that means
I want the part where it
presumably
changes.
the Dodgers have won. But welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I am Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and Jeff Spiegel. The last time we saw the Dodgers, they were putting the finishing touches on a 5-1 win over the Toronto Blue Jays at Rogers Center in Game 2 of the World Series, with Yoshinobu Yamamoto completing his second complete game in as many starts. The last person to do that in the postseason was Curt Schilling way back in 2001. So the Dodgers come back home with the series tied at a game apiece. Greg, you and Parker were out at Cosm.
Yeah.
Parker, did you get any phone numbers? You had people crashing the set the whole time. You were making friends out there. Just kind of, hoping that that your evening went well.
Yeah, the Instagram comments were saying that, Sedano and Cap Heine Friday turned into Heine Saturday. It was good to see.
Sorry.
Greg's setting the mood. It was good to see that the people were having fun out there at Cosm. The Dodgers fans were feeling great. I mean, I got a video of like the last out from Yamamoto, and you could just see people. Oh, hello! What is this? Oh no! Ladies and gentlemen, I may be having smoke alarm issues.
Every time you hear a smoke alarm, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee whenever.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. That sounds really good.
If it gets too bad, or actually, yeah, Greg, I'll probably hop off and I'll stay in the chat.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you stay in the chat? But why don't you give us your thoughts from Saturday, your thoughts for today, and then we can
just get it all out. There we go. Quickly, everybody. Yes, Yamamoto has become, if not the best pitcher in baseball. He can absolutely paint when he needs to. The fact that you're seeing Will call a pitch and he's just sitting there smiling and nodding, that is so scary if you're a hitter. Yamamoto's on a different level right now, and he's so locked in. Again, yeah, we hope we don't have to see him again, but we just might. It depends. But again, what Yamamoto's done in this postseason is amazing, and I think that Glasnow can follow suit. Again, it starts with the pitching and ends with the pitching, and shout out to the offense, though, for giving Yama some support. All season, it was an issue. Didn't matter for Yamamoto still, but the fact that they came and supported him to Muncy, Will Smith, the bats came alive. Greg asked for it. They did. It was great. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna go handle this because I can't see straight anyways with this smoke alarm going. But lasers for winners, everybody.
Lasers for winners.
For winners.
Parker will still be in the chat, so feel free to participate. He'll bounce back in there with you as well. We'll get to obviously what's coming tonight with Tyler Glasnow on the mound. First, I want to give a shout out as always to LAX, transforming the travel experience, saving guest time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. Jeff, your thoughts? I mean, it's been a week since we have last spoken to you. The Dodgers lose the first game in sort of one-sided fashion. They come back though, and Yamamoto wins game 2 for them. Greg and I were saying that they had to at least get a split, so I would think you got to feel okay with the way they're coming back home right now.
Yeah, I mean Yamamoto's fine. He still gave up a run. Yeah. Splitting the gap between how I felt after game 1 and how I felt after game 2 might as well have been the Grand Canyon between things. We went from like, oh my gosh, this is really going to happen to, okay, we're back. Headed back to Dodger Stadium. So, I think this is what the Dodgers needed. We talk a lot on our show. There's 3 elements to a baseball game: starting, pitching, bullpen, and hitting. And if 2 of those 3 are going right for the Dodgers, then it's a wrap. And I guess it counts as 2 of 3 when Yamamoto just throws 9 innings. I think that's the starting pitching and the bullpen both being good. And I know the Dodgers offense has kind of been getting dumped on and rightfully so. But they got 5 runs. Like my guy, Will Smith, we got a janitor text from my guy, Greg Bergman over here, because Will Smith had 3 different run scoring balls in play last couple nights ago. And so they got 5 runs. 5's always the number for me. If the offense scores 5, then it should be enough for the pitching to get the job done. And so nice to see kind of all 3 of those elements working together.
I mean, yeah, it's funny because you talk about 5 runs, and Greg, I remember that was a conversation we had on this show way back in March and April when the Dodgers started 8-0 to start the year with some really improbable, ridiculous wins. But the consensus here was, as good as the pitching can be, if they can just score 5 runs a night, they're going to be fine. And so that is, it all comes, time is a flat circle, all that Rustin Cole stuff from True Detective. So here we are, a best of 5 series with 3 games at Dodger Stadium. Tyler Glasnow on the mound. And look, Greg, of the 4 starters, Glasnow has been the 4th. I don't want to say the weakest. I mean, I guess technically, but he's the number 4 guy. And I think it's sort of on him, maybe not to duplicate what Yamamoto did, but he's got to come out quick. I would think the first couple innings for Glasnow, I feel like, are going to be key today.
Yeah, I think you're totally right on that. So the thing with Glasnow is, and why I'm just a little bit nervous, is that he is a strikeout guy. He attacks the strike zone, so that's a good thing. But he also walks a lot of guys. And with this Blue Jays team, they are going to put the bat on the ball. They don't strike out a lot, even though Yamamoto found a way to get to 8 of them. They typically don't strike out a lot because their 2-strike approach is just fantastic, where they just knock balls off over and over and over again, and then find a way to get a single or a double. I'm worried about him a little bit that if his pitch count gets too high, he walks too many guys, and then he kind of gets a little bit of contact, it could get out of control. I do think he's been looking really good recently, and even just in this postseason alone, he's given up 1 run, and that's it. I mean, he has walked a bunch. I think he's walked 8 guys in the postseason so far, but he's only given up 1 run. So it's just he has to have his best stuff today, and he has to be the best Tyler Glasnow we've seen in quite some time. So of the 4 pitchers, like you said, he is the one that worries me the most. Dave Roberts says that the offense is all of a sudden magically going to get better right now. So, that's amazing because the at-bat quality has just been trash despite in the late innings. But I really need to see a big outing from Tyler Glasnow. This could kind of sway how things go in this series.
I mean, Jeff, let's sort of game this out, right? Let's say you get even just a good outing from Glasnow, right? That he gives you 6 solid innings, and then you got to go to the bullpen. Walk me through how you feel like this should go. Let's go. You're going to the 7th. Matchups be damned because the Blue Jays don't really. I don't know. They don't. That doesn't really apply to them.
Yeah.
Is it a Bonda Trinan Roki situation? I mean, how does Dave Roberts get through that?
Yeah, real quick on Glasnow, I do think Dodgers fans, we have like a mental block against Tyler Glasnow because of some of the vibes maybe that are around him that are not always that great. He has a .68 ERA in the postseason so far in 3 appearances.
Yeah.
His last 7 appearances dating back to September 1st, it's a 1.8 ERA with 43 strikeouts and 35 innings and just 19 hits allowed. Like, he has been, when available, and especially over the last 2 months, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. And so that's not a guarantee things are going to go great for him tonight. But I just think I need to get out of my mind the cramps and the mud in his shoes and the fact that he's always hurt, because when he is healthy, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. So I think 6 innings for Glasnow is the goal. He went 5 2/3 against them in August, did get 8 strikeouts in that game, though. So I think if you can get 6 innings from Glasnow, that's the goal. I would be penciling in 2 innings from Roki Sasaki. And then the biggest question is, how do you get the 3 innings in between those 2? And I think you named some of the key names. Like, it's going to be Blake Treinen. And I love the dialogue of late because I was the guy in the early parts of the playoffs that was like, hey, I think Treinen's going to be fine. And I got crushed for it. I hated it so much. And now I go on the show the other night, game 1, and everyone's like, why do they not go to Treinen instead of Sheehan? What are we doing? I'm like, what alternative universe am I living in here where now everybody wants the guy? And I know it's the least bad of all bad options, that kind of thing. But I just think Treinen is going to be in the mix. I think Treinen versus Sheehan versus Klein is an interesting conversation. I think Bonda versus Dreyer versus Robleski is an interesting conversation. But ultimately, I think it's going to be Treinen as the guy that they trust the most. And I kind of wonder if we're going to see any of the lefty guys, because they'll probably pinch hit if you bring in a Bonda. He gave up the grand slam the other night. So you could talk me into Treinen being the fireman, and whether it's Will Klein, whether it's Justin Robleski, whether it's just going back to Emmett Sheehan in a clean inning, I think you could talk me into any of those options.
Speaking of Sheehan, I mean, look, Greg, we have all, I think, believed that he was put in a really almost unfair situation in game one, coming in with the bases loaded and nobody out. But at the same time, it's been rough for him in this postseason. He has given up a run every time he has come in. Does he still have a place near the top of the trust tree, or has Dave, do you think, moved him down a little bit?
I think there's going to be a little bit of moving down. You can't come in. I mean, that's a spot you have to at least get a couple of outs. And I don't think, did he get any? I don't think
he got one. He
got a ground out. That's right. He got a ground out.
You got a ground out. But yeah, you have to mitigate somewhat. I mean, he was 0-2 to I think all three, everyone that he faced though, like or two, had 2 strikes on everybody at least. So he was getting there, but he just couldn't put him away because this Blue Jays team doesn't get put away very often on 2 strikes. But yeah, I think he's probably down a little bit. If once you get hit up like that, you're probably not going to be trusted in tight game situations. They might put him in there a game if it's out of hand one way or the other, but I don't really see him coming in a tight game like that. The piggyback plan was very Sheehan, Glasnow, Kershaw based, and it was always early in the postseason, because you can't do it over and over again in 7-game series. And in this, now that we're into this situation, there's no way that you can do it. Sheehan and Kershaw are both not to be trusted in those, so that is out the window.
Yeah. Side note to all this, obviously, these will be the last 3 games that Clayton Kershaw will ever set foot as a player, at least in Dodger Stadium. Regardless of how this turns out, I mean, this is the last hurrah. Although I think the last time he pitched, it's probably the last time he's going to pitch, unless something gets really out of hand.
Guys, I'm pooling some money together, and I don't know who I need to pay to get a 10-1 Dodgers lead in the final game of the season. And come in and get the 3 outs. But if you want to chip in to my collection, again, I don't know where I'm sending this money, but I'm convinced that if it's Kershaw getting the final 3 outs of a Dodgers World Series victory because they're up by $1 million, that it would be the greatest sports moment of my life and that we would never top it. So just let me know if you want in. I'll send you the Venmo or something.
Yeah, send me the Venmo. I would love that. Could you imagine Game 5? Let's say this would be like the best thing that could possibly happen. Not saying it's going to, is that they just get to Game 5. They're up 3-1 and they're up 10-1 in the top of the 9th. And Kershaw comes 2 outs. He just gets the final out. I just want him to get the final out. Come in just for the final out.
Because the bullpen door swings open. They dim the lights. It's Robert Redford natural type stuff, right? The music playing, the fans just go berserk.
Is that Kershaw's music?
Right, exactly. That would be one hell of a way to end the career if it could get there. Fingers crossed, right? Miracles do happen sometimes. Yeah. But while we're talking about this, obviously, the Dodger offense has been something of a story. The fact that outside of the wild card series are averaging about 3 runs per game. Now, look, a lot of that to the Phillies, because they have an outstanding pitching staff. The Brewers pitching, their starting pitching, was good enough. Their bullpen actually was pretty good, even though the Dodgers found ways to get to it. One of the conversations, and I saw this morning from Sonia Chen at Dodgers.com, examining the pros and cons of keeping Andy Pages in the Dodgers lineup.
Yeah, that's the big one, huh?
What were the pros? Just out of curiosity, was there a big list there on the positive side?
His outfield arm.
It's the outfield arm. It's the defense. I mean, I think that's sort of the pros for keeping him there. But I mean, Jeff, how do you make the case to keep him in the World Series lineup? Because pretty much the entire postseason, he has offered really nothing offensively.
Yeah. His weighted runs created plus, by the way, 100 is league average. His for the postseason is -33. So ooh. I didn't know that was possible, but that's possible. Also worth pointing out, his struggles go back way before
I think
the postseason too. In his 33 plate appearances prior to the postseason, he had 4 hits and 1 walk with 11 strikeouts. So basically in his last 80 plate appearances, he has 8 hits, he has 1 walk, and he has 22 strikeouts over that stretch. So we've moved past, hey, really small sample size, it's bad. And yet, I would stick with Andy Pages in the lineup. I know I just made the joke about what are the positives. I think it's that the defense is better with him in there, whether it's Kike or Call that would have to play center field. I think Pages is the better option there. The argument for Call is that it's a higher on-base percentage guy. He had a 380 on-base percentage against righties this season. He has 7 plate appearances in the postseason. He's reached base in 6 of them, so it's been an impressive start. But I just think game 2 for me, Greg, is the reason why I keep Pages. And what I mean by that is one swing, one home run can absolutely turn the tides in a postseason game. And Alex Call is not going to hit that home run. Pages, unlikely to hit that home run, but it is at least within the range of possibilities. And so better defense, higher likelihood of a home run. I'd go with that. By the way, 3 hard hit balls for Pages in game 2 and did get a hit in his last one. Little seeing eye single up the middle, but 3 balls over 95 miles an hour on the exit velocity. And so I would just take my chances with Pages and see what happens.
So there's a little bit about that too. Like he was doing that against Cincinnati too, where he was hitting these balls and hard hit balls into left field, center field, and you're like, oh, okay, he's just missing. He's just missing. He's been just missing the entire time now still. So those hard hit balls, as great as they sound, and they're gonna make you feel a little bit better, it is also not actually turning into hits. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I still think you stay with Pages also, just because I don't trust Call either. But
we lost Greg's.
Yeah, we lost your mic for a second.
They hated your take. The audience hated your Alex Call take.
The internet was not.
When did I drop? When did I drop?
Basically, start over.
you don't like Call. That's what the last thing we heard.
Well, it's not that I don't like Call. I don't trust Call. So like no matter what, his arm in center field is a deterrent for guys. They don't go from first to third. They don't like you. He is someone that stops someone from trying to score from second. Like there's a lot of different things that if Pages has, there's an opportunity for him to throw someone out. He can do that. So the fact that it's a deterrent is a big thing for me. And defense in these games, especially with the way that the Blue Jays hit, that is very much more important at the same time. But yeah, it's so. I really hope he'll come through offensively, but it's just he just can't hit in double plays when there's guys on base and 1 out. That's the only thing I want. Like the strikeout that he had, I was totally fine with.
I mean, look, rule number 1, right? If you're going to hit in that 9 spot ahead of Shohei, rule number 1, do not hit into a double play. Just give Shohei an opportunity to come to the plate, and we'll see what happens from there. The other guy,
real quick, one other note just on tonight, because Scherzer on the mound for Toronto, is 2 things about Scherzer. Is he's not a huge swing and miss guy, he's not a huge chase guy, and he also is among the worst in the league at getting ground balls. So the offensive profile against him is balls in the air and not necessarily swing and miss. And so maybe, just maybe, a guy like Scherzer is actually the get right type of pitcher for a guy like Pages. Who knows?
Well, and I was going to sort of mention that because look, for Scherzer, he had that start in the ALCS. That was his first outing in about 2.5, almost 3 weeks from the last time he had pitched. And even before that, the last time he had pitched against the Red Sox was pretty awful. Gave up 4 runs on 10 hits in just 5 innings. And he came out and sort of grinded his way through that game against the Mariners. It helped that the Jays put up 8 runs in that game. So like, I don't look at I look at this and say that on paper, at least, the Dodgers have a decided advantage when it comes to starting pitching. So, I mean, hopefully what happens on paper also happens on the field, because you never really know. But, it's going to be interesting, I think, with Scherzer going out there. Can he sort of, Mad Max his way through this thing, or does reality kind of come crashing down around him? We will see. But I want to mention also, we talk about Pages and his struggles. I mean, Greg, before the series started, my World Series MVP pick was Teoscar Hernandez. And unless some things turn around very quickly for him at home plate, that's looking very, very unlikely. And I saw this in the chat too. He's had some really, really tough at bats, really just awful looking at bats so far in this series.
Yeah, it's been a little brutal to watch. He has, I mean, he'll figure it out. Like he's going to come up with a big home run, and you're like, oh yeah, we love Teo again. But the fact is, like, yeah, he has. We talked about bad at bat quality earlier in the show. Like it's been bad at bat quality. He swings at, if you throw any type of splitter or off speed pitch low in the zone, he's going after it no matter what. Like there's times that. Over and over again. What was it? Savage did the same thing and just threw a little. It was splitter into the ground. Gosman had him just in just all twisted up with that splitter too. Like he was just hitting the bottom of the zone, and just one splitter, he was going straight at it. There was times where the ball looked like it was never even in the zone, and he still went after it. He's like, "Oh, I'm going after this one." 2 strikes, and he's in swing mode. So yeah, it's been really bad at bat quality, but he's going to come through. You're going to see, like, there's going to be a big 3-run home run from him where he's going all crazy. So obviously he has to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. Again, it's Jeff. It's the Pages situation, right? Where there are cons defensively. We know that he can be a problem sometimes. Although there's like. For all that, he did have a play, was it game 1 maybe? There's a ball down in the right field corner that he played perfectly off the wall that I thought, off the bat, I thought was a double, and he held somebody to a single.
I think it was Kirk, but
it might have been Kirk. So like,
there's there. Okay,
there's an asterisk there because it's Alejandro.
Yeah. Kirk turns every double into a single. not a fleet of foot man.
Not a fleet of foot man. Yeah. So, but hey, look, I give him credit because I feel like if there's one other outfield that he knows as well as Dodger Stadium, it would probably be Rogers Center from all the years he spent playing up there. So I don't know. I'm looking for positives for Teo, right?
I think it is. These series, as much as we hate to oversimplify it, like who hits more home runs ends up being the difference in these games. And so I think you can justify saying this guy has a greater likelihood of hitting a home run. So we're going to stick with Teo, and we're going to stick with Pages, and we're going to stick with all of these dudes because, again, one swing can completely change the complexion of a game in the World Series. And that's kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely is. So looking forward to tonight. I don't know. I just have a feeling the Dodger offense wakes up in a big way tonight. Yeah. Hoping so against Scherzer.
Yeah. And this isn't real quick too, because just the other key to keep in mind is it's 3 straight games, 3 games in 3 days. And so whichever team can get to the bullpen earlier tonight, if they can force the Blue Jays bullpen to have to get 5+ innings, like I don't think Scherzer makes it past 4. That's my prediction. But if they can get 5 2/3 innings out of the Blue Jays bullpen on night 1 of 3 in a row is going to be massive. So Glasnow and Scherzer, whoever can get deeper into the game, is going to be a massive, massive ripple effect over the next 3 days.
And also, their best reliever too, Louis Varland, has not looked great. Is that where you're going?
I was going to say, he doesn't look great because he pitches literally every day. I think it's like a Blue Jay bylaw that if they have a game that he has to play, like he's the designated pitcher, apparently, for John Schneider. I feel like he throws every single game. So, yeah, maybe that's why he hasn't looked great in the postseason. So, but we will see. So, it says it's a 5 o'clock first pitch time, but we all know that's a lie because,
World Series.
It's a World Series. They got to do all the player introductions and a million different pregame things.
Jonas Brothers.
Keeping our fingers crossed that Tyler Glasnow doesn't have to wait through a Jonas Brothers concert in the middle of the game.
Do we think Kendrick? That's been the talk on our show. Do the Dodgers pull Kendrick Lamar out for a game 3 pregame? Is it Ice Cube again? Is it both of them?
Ooh, that could be interesting. I think you do Kendrick, right? I mean, if for no other reason, because Drake was at game 1, you kind of stick it to him a little bit.
I think stick with Cube for the first game, then Kendrick.
Okay,
I don't know.
All right.
Can't go wrong.
I'm sure they have a whole plan out there in the media relations and game entertainment department for sure. Hopefully this one is entertaining for Dodger fans as well on the field. We'll be back with you tomorrow to talk about it. Jeff, you guys doing live shows all week, I presume, right?
Yeah, we're going live tonight, and I believe our guy Greg Bergman is going to be hopping on with us once you guys finish up your little post-game show. So Dodger Blue 1958 on YouTube. We also have a show up from last night. So if you need more Dodgers content before today's game, Blake Williams and myself breaking down game 3, game 4 and going over the Dodgers offense. So check that out.
All right, be sure to check that out. Of course, as Jeff mentioned, we'll be with you after post-game tonight here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Stick around because the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza coming up right here on the same ESPN LA YouTube channel. So that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Thanks to the chat. Thanks to Graham for getting us up and on. Thanks to Parker and his smoke alarm for jumping in for a minute. So for Jeff Spiegel, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. Back here tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Go Dodgers. See you then.
See ya.